Right, yeah. My little bubble is showing up, so I think let's see, talk again. Yep, yeah, showing up.
Okay.
On top, we're going to have ironically enough, playing the light stealer at Gamma Hulk.
30 seconds to showtime.
Down in mid, we're gas inside. The Storm Spirit. And up here on top, another stand-in, Chaos playing her Titan. On the bottom, for X, another stand-in. She's on the Weaver up top.
And here we go.
No surprise there, we got a VS Abaddon, and we've got Gotcha playing Andy.
So yeah, it looks like we will have paired up in the mid an OD versus Storm Spirit. I think that this is going to be a fairly easy lane for the OD. You should be able to outlane Storm Spirit pretty well. And it looks like everybody else, both teams are going defensive try, pretty standard. It looks like XCTN? Extinct? Extinct? I don't know. But yeah, it looks like they're going to be offlaning with a Weaver. This is going to be a pretty dangerous offlane if he's not careful, just because if he gets disrupted into an ice path and then he gets open wounded on, it could be pretty risky for him. He doesn't have much health. As you can see, he has 450 health right now. So he can go down really easily if not careful. He has to play it very safe at the beginning. Yes, I think I think your bubble is coming up every once in a while. Like for the first few words, it won't. The sensitivity, maybe. There you go.
Alright, now we're going to kind of bounce around, take a look at a few things. Oh, we are going on Weaver. It looks like Lifestealer is going to try and go ahead and get that first blood, and Sakuchi gets him out of there. Rolling back over here, we have Storm Spirit going to town against Outworld Devour. Who do you think's favored up in this middle matchup?
Yeah, in the middle, like I said, I think OD should have an advantage in this lane, but it looks like Storm Spirit is doing fairly well. OD will start doing a little bit better once he hits maybe like level 5. He'll be able to start using his Astral Imprisonment a lot more and be able to steal. He goes up very well against int heroes just because he keeps on using that Astral Imprisonment and stealing their int, which basically drains their mana. Right. Like right now, if you'll see, Storm Spirit's mana pool is all 286. I mean, he can get maybe one spell off with that.
Yeah, he's gonna
maybe
have a hard
two.
time getting over there for any sort of actual fight. That's true. So he's definitely going to be holding Storm Spirit, I think, until at least level 6 when Storm Spirit starts to do some of that roaming. Looks on the bottom, we've got Elder Titan going solo lane against Animage and Abaddon. I can't tell you that I envy Elder Titan in that matchup.
I still do not hear, or still not see your mic bubble popping up.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a pain in the toes.
So maybe switching to push a talk, or...
Yeah, we can give that a try real quick. I'll make sure there's no action. Like up here right now, we got Weaver who's hot out.
Oh, Weaver gets disrupted right now?
Yep,
into an ice path. There it is. There's the combo. Fire Breath. Weaver might be going down here, and he will go down.
Alright, let me try to fix that real quick. Keep it on the action here. Alright, is my chapel popping up now?
Still nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds good. Looks like Shadow Demon's defending with the Illusion Rune here top for his mid. Storm Spirit has his bottle on the way. It's going to take a little bit for the courier to bring it to him. It looks like Storm Spirit's tired of waiting. He's just going to take it. use the illusion to maybe put a little bit of pressure on OD, or maybe scare him off a little bit. It's not going to do much. Now, I don't understand when players do this, when they just send their illusions in like this. It's kind of a waste. He could use those illusions to maybe as like mobile wards. Exactly. Yes. Just like sending them in there, I mean, the only thing you're going to do is scare OD off for maybe 2 seconds. He's going to back off, realize their illusions, and it's over.
Exactly. All right, so it looks like my bubble's popping up more now. Strange. Anyway, Elder Titan is still sitting pretty quietly. Looking at last hits and denies, it looks like our anti-mage is actually leading the charge at 28 and 11. So he definitely has the most denies, and he has the most last hits, which is going to be valuable for him looking for so much farm.
Oh yes. Anti-Mage is a very greedy pick. Anti-Mage is kind of useless until he gets quite a bit of farm. I'd say maybe hitting the 28 to 30 minute mark is when he starts being able to be actual contribute in team fights. So it's going to take him a bit to get online. I'd say that right now, with the start that he's having, he's going up against this Elder Titan in the off lane, and it doesn't seem like Elder Titan is putting enough pressure out. So he's getting some pretty easy farm. I don't know if Extinct want to, I don't know if Razer wants to change things up here a little bit. Maybe send somebody down here to put a little bit extra pressure on Anti-Mage, because if he gets the farm he needs, he will just annihilate in the mid and end game.
Tell you what though, question mark lost power, so now's a great time to try and fix this mic situation.
Yes.
Let's work on that. Hey, look at that. King Carrot says that we are up and running and I can be heard on Dotatv. So apparently, I just had to turn my mic off and back on, which apparently is ridiculous. But hey, worse, we could not be able to play. It looks like up top, sitting here on the observer ward, there is a dust coming in. I didn't even notice that dust go off. So question mark and Gamma Hulk are dust rotating down below the OD. And it looks like it could make for a very, very interesting moment or two.
It's definitely something that they have to do versus an OD. Yeah. Like I said, if they don't go for ganks here in mid, OD will just stomp Storm Spirit out of the lane. And it doesn't seem like he's actually doing too bad. I mean, if you look at the CS, OD is at 15 and 6, and Storm Spirit is at 13 and 1. So he's hanging in there. He's doing pretty well against this OD.
I think he's actually winning the mid battle. It's just I'm worried about the anti-mage rolling out of control if they don't roll a gank down on him soon. I think we'll see him transition to the jungle potentially, and at that point just work farm while the rest of the team sort of delays, if that makes sense.
Yes, basically, if you're the other team, and if the other team has an anti-mage, what you want to do is just pressure hard. Don't let it go to the end game, because ganking an anti-mage isn't that easy. You will only be able to really kill him if you get a surprise gank on him, which is not very common. More than likely, it's going to have to be in a team, like you have to force him to go into a team fight. So you just basically have to be upping the pressure on the other team quite significantly, and force the anti-mage to have to come in even if he's not ready, and that's when you'll get those kills and slow him down a bit.
Exactly. I think that's the best way to work. Now, the real question that I have, and that I'm worrying about, is I wonder if this smoke bank that they're planning has enough control to actually have a successful gank on OD. If OD is able to turn around and get that astral imprisonment on Jakiro, they really don't have any way, in my opinion, to keep him from just skating away. Shadow Demon's lockdown is not strong at all.
So they have two options. They can either go in and start off with a disruption, which is it's going to be a little bit riskier, I think, because the range on it is a bit shorter. And the other option is obviously the ice wall or ice path from Jakiro, which is the safer way to go. But the problem is that if you do ice path first, you lock him down. The OD takes some damage from being stunned or immobilized for a bit, and then you put a disruption on him. You really want to have the disruption to actually have your mid come and set up and position yourself around the OD in order to get a good gank on him, and then you stun him so everyone's getting some full damage onto him. That's the ideal opener. It's riskier.
I think they call that the old Naga Siren, right? I think that's the phrase they use for that opener.
The old Naga Siren. I did not know that.
The old Naga Siren. Yeah, it was based on a book of some sort, I think. So looking at gear right now, Animage hasn't picked up a whole lot of anything. He is saving his money, so it looks like he's going to be putting that towards, what do you think, a Blink Dagger?
Anti-Mage, no. Anti-Mage doesn't go for Blink Dagger since he already has a built-in Blink.
So what? That's a good point. But he's got 11,000 or 1,100 sitting in his bank. So I wonder what he's going to be chasing down.
So
Nothing
usually as an Anti-Mage, the typical build is going Treads into something like Battle Fury, and then once you get that Battle Fury, you're basically good to go. Like your farm is just going to go up by an insane amount. You can start farming pretty crazily fast. Sometimes they'll get a little bit help with like mana items, like maybe a Ring of Basilius or things like that. But most players will just go straight into the Battle Fury. So I'm gonna assume that that's what he's gonna do, especially if his farm is so good. He's gonna want to get those items quickly to be able to get into the fights quicker than.
I'm actually really curious about this. When you find yourself playing, do you tend to sit on large amounts of cash, or because OD is also sitting on about 1,600 gold, with nothing but 2 branches and a pull to tango, and I think
so.
That's a little strange.
This is when Dota players first start playing. It's recommended to them that they just buy as soon as they have the items, like even buy the items to build the final item that they want to get, just because it's the probability of them dying or getting ganked is a lot higher. So most pro players, and I'm guessing these players who are starting out are also trying to kind of imitate that style, or just try to save their money to kind of let their options be open in terms of what they want to get, because as the fight goes on, you might want to go from one item to another depending on how the game is going. And you always, I don't know if you in the bottom right corner, some people don't know that there is kind of a box there, a quick buy box that you can have items in. And if you are getting ganked, like right before you die, a lot of players will just buy things up really quickly, just so they don't lose as much gold.
It's definitely something I feel is maybe being underutilized in the game right now. And, you know, the only reason I bring it up is I guess I'm a big advocate of the brown boot at the bare minimum. There's the fight with OD. The gank works out quite well. Storm Spirit's there to get it, and he melts, unlike any of the snow outside of our house right now. So they get a good gank that they needed on OD, slow him down, and bring that score to a 2 for none right now. That Sentry Ward up on the top lane is really kind of cramping Weaver's style. I've been kind of keeping an eye on that fight, and Weaver's not having the ability to do much of anything. It looks like Lifestealer actually just called for a gank up top, so it looks like we're going to be having Jakiro rotating in, try to catch him off guard.
Storm Spirit's coming in Viz bottom.
Yep,
they might get something here on...
Oh, we'll go there, check it out. Yep, they just moved in on Animage. Animage is a little bit out of position. There's the pull. Excellent. And he blinks.
Great escape, but it looks like Abaddon will be going
down. Crystal Maiden's coming in to put some help. She doesn't have enough mana to do the damage that she needs to, it looks like. Animage wants to send a few parting blows, but it's going to end up at a 1 for none. And that was a nice rotation. I think that XCTN... oh, man. That's hard to say. XCTN is doing a great job of rotating top to bottom, bottom to top, and getting those ganks to kind of slow down the farmers.
And he has reached his level 6, so now with his ulti, that makes him a lot more mobile, and things are getting a bit dangerous for Extinct.
The Storm Spirit. Looks like they're pinging OD again, so we'll see what happens there. Crystal Maiden is being very aggressive. I'm a little worried about that Storm Spirit with those ganks that he's been able to get his hands on. Storm Spirit, especially in that mid game, is just such a scary hero as he floats around the box. By box, I mean map, I suppose.
Let's see.
All right, so yeah, we've got Sentry Wards up and down that entire top lane. It looks like we're moving in for a possible gank here on the Weaver if they can sucker him out. But Coco is being very, very careful. I think he knows that something is up, though there is no vision in the forest, which is really tough for that Weaver to kind of play this area without any vision whatsoever.
Indeed, yeah. It's very dangerous for him.
Lifestealer's trying to bait him up, it looks like, and say, yeah, you can get a few free hits on me. But I don't think Shadow Demon would allow very much of that at all.
I think the biggest problem with the Shadow Demon and Jakiro kind of just sitting here on the sidelines, look at this.
Back top.
This is very dangerous for Weaver. Weaver could go down here if executed properly. Shadow Demon should get a disruption. There it is.
Him on the grab. The setup for the gank puts down the freezing path. No questions asked. It's an easy meltdown.
And Storm Spirit even came up to help with that.
Another strong rotation from XC. These guys definitely have worked hard on their rotations, and it's showing.
Giving Storm Spirit early farm is not good for if you are Extinct. I mean, Storm Spirit just scales so well. Once he starts getting his items that allow him to basically regenerate mana really quickly, he's going to be just a nightmare to deal with.
Looks like they are moving somebody else up. They found the wards that are down in the river. And it's actually, I just realized it's execution, not extinction. So moving on OD again. OD gets that, starts to slide himself away. But Storm Spirit wants the fight anyway. It looks like he might be able to pull this off.
Ooh, Crystal Maiden coming in.
Crystal Maiden is coming in.
They might turn this around. Oh!
Yes, nice turnaround. And they end up going a 1-for-0 and get their first kill of the match as Lifestealer disconnects. Wow. I didn't realize we were playing on servers on the other side of the world. It's an unfortunate time to disconnect. Definitely will allow Execution, to escape from this one and plan their getaway. It looks like we actually missed that. Jakiro had just rotated down as well and was coming in. Looks like he's lining up, almost ready to line up a freezing path. Too little too late, I think, and there's no mana left on Storm Spirit for him to actually go in and try to finish off that OD. On top, Weaver is still just relaxing, and I'd tell you what Elder Titan, in my opinion, has been doing a really great job of. He's doing his laning thing, he's getting his farm, but never once has he given any inclination that there might be a gank going on. He just keeps doing business as normal and makes sure that he's always in Animage's vision anytime that a gank rotation's going. So I think that's done a great job for kind of throwing Razer off of their game and when they're expecting ganks.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is that Elder Titan was a lot safer in his lane just because the tri-lane that Execution had was Crystal Maiden, which is really good for setting up ganks, but their second support was an Abaddon, which really is more of a defensive support and more of a team fight support. He's not that strong. In lane, he's very strong if you're trying to be a little bit more defensive, but as a ganker, he's not that great as maybe a combination like Jakiro and Shat Demon.
Absolutely. So as we set up for what looks like it's going to be a showdown in mid, I want to run through a couple of numbers here. First, I got the last hit, the chart up right now. Last hits is being dominated by Animage at the moment. 62 to his nearest rival at 36. Here comes the movement. Storm Spirit comes in first to Abaddon. He puts up his shield, but it's not going to be enough. They come in. It looks like they're going to be able to hopefully melt him down. Got the freezing path. Problem is, Outworld is coming around the back, as is Crystal Maiden. So that looks like they're going to actually turn that on Outworld. Crystal Maiden and him should not have split up. That was probably a bad idea. Jakiro gets freezing pass down, but Spirit is leaving. Looks like they're going to be content with the 1-0. I'm actually glad with the way that they pulled off of that. Weren't tempted to chase OD any deeper in.
It looked like a little bit of miscommunication there. Storm Spirit diving on the OD, and the other two supports were kind of backing off at that point. I think if they would have followed him, it would have been close. I'm not sure if it would have been a kill, but it would have been a lot closer. I think there was a little bit of a lack of communication there between Storm Spirit.
I also think that there was a fear, perhaps some negative map awareness. They didn't realize that Crystal Maiden wasn't 6 yet. With the placement on the map at that point, if they had gone on the OD and he had tucked into the trees, I think Crystal Maiden could have potentially put some real annihilation on them, made it a 2-for-1. So I think that the pullback was due more to not seeing the levels, maybe, but I think it was the right choice, especially when you're up 5-1, and why give away a kill when you know that you just got a great one.
Definitely, this is something that you see in a lot of newer teams. I'm not sure how long these players have been together in the same team, but when teams are first forming, especially in those fights where you have to be making those quick decisions, a lot of the times you don't have time to be, yelling out what you're going to do. You just go off of what the other person is doing. And the more you know your teammate, the better you're going to react. So this might have been one of those cases where this Storm Spirit is a bit more of a dendy suicide player, and the supports didn't really know that he was going to try something like that.
Absolutely. It looks like we're shaping up for a little bit of action up top, but we're taking our time with that. A little rotation from Shadow on the bottom. And nope, not ready to mix it up yet. So we looked at the last hit chart. We want to look at net worth right now is going double to OD and Anti-Mage. So that's not good news for Razer. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the net worth yet, but basically it's coming in where the top 2 farms on Execution are almost 1,000 or 2,000 gold over the top farm on Razer's side.
Oh yeah. Anti-Mage has been completely uncontested this whole game.
Absolutely. You just
84
can't do that with
last
an anti-mage.
hits.
You just cannot do that with an anti-mage.
Ridiculous.
So.
Look, and there he is. He skipped his boots. He's going straight into Battle Fury. He was like, I don't even need
if he might
those.
do that. He said, I'm not worried about it. I've got the blink. These guys are rotating all over the place and leaving me alone. Looks like they're going to be coming in for a little action here. We got 5 on top. There's no vision in the jungle on the part of Execution. So it looks like they are going to kind of move in and try to take this thing down. There's the jump to Weaver. Weaver is locked up. And
oh, wow. That stun.
That was a
barely
beautiful stun by Elder Titan. You know, the timing on that is significantly harder than it looks like, and I'm incredibly impressed with what he just did.
Elder Titan getting a little bit greedy there, going for the Crystal Maiden. He was like, I can take her too, but Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, but he got awfully close. Elder Titan swinging for, what is he swinging for right now? About 68, so he was about 2 punches away from Crystal Maiden's demise.
Well, he had the power from the Spirit as well, so I think he had a few extra damage buffs, and that could have been a kill.
Yep, I think that the Crystal Maiden's quick frostbite, reflex, and runaway,
yes, definitely.
The immortal battle words of Crystal Maiden, as with most French folks, runaway. So here we go. Storm Spirit's moving up. He's going to get a double damage. Storm Spirit with double damage is scary. So he's going to get that and try to decide which way to rotate. In the meantime, look at the gold graph here. The gold graph is about 1,000 in the favor of Execution. So that is, we got OD locked up. Jump to him. Is he going to be able to finish him? He doesn't have any mana for the jump, but it looks like the TP is going to go off, and he's going to get... He cancels it. He cancels it because his friends are coming.
I think it was somebody TPing on top of him, and it looked like he was TPing out.
Ah, very clever. Not purposeful, I don't think.
I don't think it was on purpose.
You know, we're gonna call it purpose. We're gonna say
yes,
that was
a very pro move from Extinction or Execution.
What fine camouflage they used. Well done. So really nothing comes of the double damage room on Storm Spirit, and that has got to be frustrating to him. But kudos to backing out instead of staying with that. Oh, there comes the freezing path, but it looks like...
Stomp from... Oh, there's the ulti from ET.
There it is, and it looks like it's not going to catch anybody. Bobbing the jukes.
He doesn't have mana for a grip here. They just have to body block.
The Crystal Maiden. They're going to melt her down. Storm Spirit's in trouble, but it looks like he may get away on this one. Jakiro covers his back.
Weaver does throw his bugs.
We got Abaddon is in a little bit of trouble here. Lifestealer finishes him off. So look at 2 for 0 at the moment. Elder Titan is getting very low. He somehow survives that. Wow. What did we end up with there? Was that a 2
I think
for
Weaver
1
kind of pulled out a little bit prematurely there. He got a bit scared, pulled out. I think he could have stayed a little bit more, maybe picked off 1 or 2. Especially that Lifestealer that's armlet toggling right now. If he would have catched him on a toggle right there, he probably could have gotten an easy kill on Lifestealer there.
They did get the bottom tower in a trade. I don't know that it was a great trade, but they did get the bottom tower. And you can't blame You can't really blame Weaver for pulling out early. If you don't pull out fast enough, your life will be ruined. Or you'll lose it, or something like that, I think is the phrase. But we're still sitting pretty hard in favor of Razer. It's interesting that Razer has the kills, and it really looks like they're starting to snowball. But in terms of gold farm, it's Execution that's dominating this game right now. They're ahead by almost 1,500 gold in the overall farm, and a lot of that is Anti-Mage just sitting on the bottom doing his thing.
Indeed, yeah. It looks like, just if you look at the kills, you think that Razer is dominating. But like I said, once that mid to late game hits, Anti-Mage is going to show up and be like, here I am, you forgot about me. You guys have been letting me do whatever I want, and I'm here to punish that.
Absolutely. So it looks like they're pinging Storm Spirit. They're trying to get a... Oh, I don't like that position that he found himself in just there. But I think he's going to be okay to get away on this one.
So it looks like OG picked up a mech for his team, which is going to be really nice for team fights mid game.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to start needing to actually bring in the Anti-Mage soonish.
Yeah.
I think he already has his Battle Fury, and he's got...
Oh, there's the charge on OD. He's going for it. They've got him in the path. That mech goes off, helps him out pretty heavily. Gosh, it's just so survivable. Looks like they're finally going to get the OD down.
He imprisons himself. And he gets
Weaver
away.
Gets knocked out. Whistle mating
And
gets
he managed
away.
to get his ulti off.
He does, but it looks like they're still going to get him. They got him. Ends up
Yep.
with a 3-4 for 1. And it looks like it might be a 5 for 1. Animage got there, but I think it was a little bit too late. He does blink and gets the... Wow, he actually knocked out 3 people while we watched the fight that killed the 4. So he did come in from behind and do some serious damage. That is that farm that they allowed him to have.
And that's even more money to him. Those 3 kills are just adding
Yeah.
to the ticking time bomb right now.
Look at his net worth right now. He's got his net worth is over 9,000 gold. His nearest rival is Lifestealer at just under 6,000.
Yep.
So that's
And
really.
I think
it was a 4 for 3. But I'm gonna say that, in the long and short of it, I think Animage or Execution actually came out on top on that one.
I think, like I said at the beginning, this is what you expect when you have a anti-mage on your team. You're going to be losing those early fights just because he can't come to the team fights. He's got nothing to help you with. He's very weak early game, and I think Razer are doing a decent job at punishing that, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think they should have put a little bit more pressure because if you look at how many towers they have right now, they only have 1 tower down. It's 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
They're running out of time right now.
It's true, and I think that one of the problems they had is that they did a lot of good rotation ganks, but they didn't focus on the Animage and some of the characters they needed to focus gank. The other problem is I noticed that they used a lot, they spent a lot of their early money on teleport scrolls and smoke transitions, and not the counter gear equipment they were going to need to deal with that Animage.
Something on mid.
Yep. OD finds himself in trouble again. They really want him down. I don't think he's going to have as much. And there's the mech. He is done. And I don't think he ever really stood a chance on that one. The rest, the rest of Razer's just kind of hiding out behind the tower. Or, I'm sorry, the rest of Execution. Looks like Storm Spirit wants to finish that Crystal Maiden. Not his best jump there, but he gets him. They melt Crystal Maiden down with a little help from Jakiro.
It looks like Storm Spirit's going to be going into a Silent Stick.
Just a great idea.
Yeah, it's a very typical build, a very common build on Storm Spirit, and it gives him so much attack power when he's going in for those ganks. When he just jumps in, he does like 600 damage just by jumping in, using the Orchid and hitting him once with an auto attack. I think the biggest problem is when you're going up against an anti-mage, you're going to need your supports to pick up items like a hex stick, which aren't cheap. So they're going to have to start, farming up that money somehow. And if they don't get that item, I don't know how they're going to be dealing with this anti-mage.
And they really haven't had a chance to. I mean, looking at their gear, Jakiro's got boots, and that's about it. Elder Titan is sitting on a shield and a mech. So that's about all the support gear that we've got going. Shadow Demon also has boots and a Ring of Regen. So the gear on the Razer side, despite all of their ganks, is not where you would hope that it would be at this stage of the game. 20 minutes to just have a mech out is a little bit disappointing.
It looks like Anti-Mage already has his Yasha and has enough for his ultimate orb.
Yep.
Which did he just buy right now?
He just bought it.
I think it's on the courier. Yep. So he is very close. He just needs a recipe for his Manta, and once he gets Manta, oh my God, Anti-Mage. That's when he really starts hitting hard.
I'm gonna say that a 20-minute Animage sitting on a Yasha, a Battle Fury, and about to have a Manta, and I would assume probably about 21 minutes is a very impressive Animage at this point.
Oh yeah. Well, I think yes, he's been doing a really great job, but I think I honestly question Razer's decision to just let him do that. I mean, really.
Yeah.
They should have been doing, handling him or doing something about it. They're just giving him all the free farming. At this point, it's kind of hard to stop him just because he's so mobile. You need people. I mean, maybe like I said, one of the surprise ganks, but you need vision on him, and then you need to get the perfect execution on him.
Looks like we've dusted up in mid, so we're going to actually try to move on that OD. They get Crystal Maiden as a bonus prize. Then they go after OD, but Weaver's coming in. I don't think Weaver's got enough to help him out. Weaver's actually probably going to get caught in this as well. Looks like they've got Abaddon, ulti, worst ulti in the world. Decides not to port out or gets interrupted, and they just melt all three of them. That's something that I think Execution was desperate for at that particular moment. It looks...
Weaver doesn't even have his Lincolns yet. I mean, his farm is pretty terrible.
I'm not really, and I wonder, I wish I knew how that was happening, honestly. But look at the kill chart, I guess, and you'll see that
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
most of the kills are gone to Storm Spirit and Shadow Demon. And Weaver, Weaver has nothing, no kills at the moment, so I think that's what's really hurting him. Animage takes the bottom tower, throws a little more gold in his coffer, something that he desperately needed, right?
I think the biggest trade-off here was Weaver went up against that really hard tri-lane, and they were doing really well to shut him down. But Weaver isn't going to be your hard carry in this game. The hard carry is anti-mage, so even if Weaver doesn't get the farm he needs, anti-mage is going to be able to pull his team ahead and just annihilate the entire team.
And what do you think? My take on what I've seen so far out of Razer is that they expected OD to be Execution's primary hard carry, and they were scared to death of that OD because they've worked some pretty hard ganks on him. What do you think of that decision to focus OD over Animage?
I think that OD is an easier target to gank, maybe, just because the rotation is... It's a less risky rotation. If the rotation fails, you can just go back to your lane and keep on farming. I think the biggest thing that I saw, the biggest mistake, or one of the biggest mistakes, was if you're not going to be getting that anti-mage down, like I said, they just spent a lot of time just hiding behind the woods waiting to catch that Weaver out, and the Weaver was being very passive, so they lost a lot of time there just kind of waiting on the Weaver when they weren't getting anything from it. They could have been farming the jungle.
They're pushing into the jungle on the bottom, but there are wards up, so keep in mind that they are going to see them going in there.
And there are the pings.
Yep, there's the pings, so you know that they're getting ready to respond. Up top, we've got a little bit of a... Animage says, I'm going to take your tower, then we're going to make you pay. So up top, we've got Storm Spirit. What? You crazy. And Lifestealer was inside of him, so that was a great jump. Looks like Crystal Maiden is trying to put some hurt on him. Not a bad location for it. Nobody gets to stun her, and Shadow Demon goes down. Lifestealer also looks like he's in some trouble, and we see Lifestealer fall to OD. Got a nice stomp off Elder Titan. I'll tell you what, if anybody gets MVP for stomps, it's that kid right there. Storm Spirit looks like he got barely enough mana to escape.
He's dead. The
Oh no, the Weaver caught him. Caught out. Unfortunate. Nice try for the save by Jakiro. Just did not work out. It was a little second too late. Once Weaver got his, what are those things called? His swarm hit him. You knew he was in trouble. That was bad. That was a 3-for-1. All they got was a Crystal Maiden out of that deal, and they're going to get a second tier tower. You're right. It's that Animage has just become so strong.
Indeed, and he has his Manta, so they can pretty much take any team fight they want now.
Not only does he have his Manta, but I don't know if you noticed, Pancake, there's an Eagle Song sitting in there too.
That's true, he's going straight into Butterfly.
So he said, and he got his boots. Boots were like a bonus prize from a gank that he got. He said, oh yeah, I guess I'll get those too.
And they're just taking down those towers. I wouldn't be surprised after they take these this last tower down, they try to get either a Roche or maybe another gank and then Roche, but Roche should be coming up soon.
I think
and once they get that Roche on that anti-mage, it's GG. I don't know how they're going to be able to answer that.
Especially with his mobility and his ability to just kind of skate out of there. You're right. If he can go toe-to-toe with most of these guys, he's swinging at 210 right now. You know that's going to get a little bit bigger as soon as he finishes up his Butterfly, which he's getting pretty close to.
And that's not counting his illusion from Manta Style.
That's true.
And his bonus damage from his first passive, the 64 mana per hit.
His output's going to be pretty ridiculous. And it's going to get worse.
He's going to be hitting like a truck. And then, especially against that hero like a Storm Spirit, if he drains that mana, Storm Spirit's done. He can't jump out. He has no mana.
Right, exactly. So it's going to ruin the escape of the one who's been getting most of their last hits. It looks like Animage is pretty content to just farm. Oh, yeah. No, maybe, yeah, he's just going to keep on farming Ancients. Creeps, he says, if you're not going to bring the fight to me, I'm perfectly happy getting more gear. So there we are. We've got a pretty good ward right here in the middle of the jungle, but it doesn't seem to be holding them off very much. We've got pings coming out on the Roche from Crystal Maiden, so they're starting to worry that maybe they're Roshing. Do you think that Razer has the testicles to set up for a Roche here? I don't think so.
I think it'd be very dangerous, but I think at this point they have to try something. I know it looks like...
They're going on the OD, and again, this OD has just been neutralized the entire game. They're going to rotate top, see if they can take out. It's going to be a 4v5. I don't... see how this goes. This will be an interesting fight. This is going to be one of the bigger fights in the match, I think, right here, if they take this. It look like they're going to try to push that lane up while they're down in OD. I don't know if you saw, but OD right now is 2-6, which is pretty tough for him. However, Animage is 5-1, so...
Yeah, usually you pick up an OD really for that early game, mid-game dominance.
Right.
He's not that great as a late carry just because he doesn't scale very well with items. His main damage is coming from his orb attack and his ulti. So, and he's always great to have to lock down a target or to save somebody from dying, like with his Astral Imprisonment.
There goes Animage. He's gonna go.
Yep.
And these guys are—they're
He
all
is
about the
amazing.
entire team.
He's amazing at
They
split
figure they'll
pushing.
I want to point out that only one person right now has a sorry, two people have teleport scrolls on the Razer team. It looks like, so they're not going to be able to respond to that. They're going to push
Yeah,
in
they
and
could
see what
get
they can
punished for
get.
this.
They're looking like they're
Anti-Mage coming back.
Yep, Anime
He's
just
ready
coming
to
back in. They got Crystal Maiden down. Lifestealer is trying to push a little bit, and they fall off scared. Lifestealer's going to run out, but Weaver's going to give chase. Good
That was
grab.
an interesting TP though.
It was.
He TP'd back to his turret instead of TPing to his tower. Boom! There goes the Astral
Oh,
Imprisonment
there goes
from
Elder
OD.
Titan. They take him down. It looks like Storm Spirit's caught in the woods,
6 in a row.
and Anime is going to finish him off.
No
Rotate
problem.
back down here, and we see who's going to make it, and he makes it out. Jakiro just barely gets out with his life.
I think Anti-Mage could have killed their whole team there if he would have TP'd to their tier 3 tower instead of TPing all the way back to his turret.
That's true. That's true. Do you think he was worried about coming in and immediately getting caught by Shadow Demon and a team setup on him or something
but,
of that sort?
but if he would have TP'd a little bit behind his tower, there's no way they could have caught him out. I mean, it's...
I can agree with that.
I think he
looks
just...
like he's going to solo Roche.
I think he double-clicked his TP scroll just in panicking maybe a little bit, trying to get
Yeah,
back
I
to
can see
base
that.
quick.
Now, or it could just be, I mean, his bounty has got to be ridiculously high at this point, so perhaps he's just being careful not to give away a little more gold than he wants to.
It's true. He is 6.
Plus, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the exchange came out in favor of Razer, and they just wanted to... What's
OD
that?
picks up the...
Okay,
the Aegis.
OD is just tired of dying.
Yes, he's like, you know what? I need this more than you do.
No
Mine.
more, please. Animage, you're fine. I've died 6 times. Please let me go positive. So R&D picks it up. He's actually hitting pretty hard now, and I think that we're going to see a pretty aggressive push here. Looks like up top, Razer is grouping up to push their lane. They are scared to death of being caught out, which means that Execution can really do whatever they want with them. This is a really interesting example of how winning a lane battle at the beginning of a game doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to dominate the game. In fact, I would venture to say that Execution got a little bit over cocky after that laning phase. And
Look at this. They have a ward in the jungle, and they see Anti-Mage. This is what I was telling you about the
Yep.
surprise gank. They're trying it, but he's just so mobile that they just can't reach him anymore. And even if they did, I doubt that they would be able to take him down, honestly. He's just so tanky right now. They can't deal with him. I think, honestly, I have no idea. They don't have a Hex Stick. They don't have anything to shut him down with. Maybe Storm Spirit if he gets a good jump and then uses his Orchid on him. But even then, I mean,
Yeah.
it's looking
It's gonna
really,
take,
really
it's gonna
bad
take
for
5 of them
Razer.
to melt him, and he does have his butterfly now, which is going to make him
Radiant's
very
bottom
difficult to do.
tower's seen better days.
Looks like him and Weaver are just going to say, we're pushing a tower, you guys defend.
Radiant's bottom tower
We'll see the
done
TPs
for.
if they come out or not. It looks like we are seeing a TP up there for defending. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
It looks like Weaver using his... I'm drawing a blank here. Using
Sword.
his Lincoln Sphere
Yes.
on Anti-Mage so he can get that tower down, you know, avoiding any kind of CC. Giving him the chance to be a little bit more aggressive.
But Animage and Weaver do back off. Animage says, all right, I'll take the farm and keep on getting more stuff, which is completely unnecessary at this point.
He is
But
at 3.5k now. I think he'll probably want to go into maybe a heart if he wants to be tankier, or if he's just feeling aggressive, maybe... I don't know. Yeah, I think honestly a heart would be his best choice at this point. Maybe
I think so. I think their goal is they want to set him up to just kind of be in there and take everything that they can dish out. So a heart sounds good to me. I will say that the level disparagence is crazy. Right now, Animage is sitting at level 21. OD is at 16, and Weaver is at 14. That means that nobody from Razer is any higher than the top 3 heroes from Execution.
I just looked at somebody in the chat saying that the reason that the reason he TP'd back to the fountain instead of to the tower was because he was picking up his butterfly.
Ah, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, I think he wouldn't be saving. Maybe he's saving for a buyback as well. That's a lot of the pro players will do that as well. But honestly, it's nice that he's being safe. I don't know if he needs to be safe at this point. I think they understand that unless they screw up really badly, they pretty much have this game in the bag.
Did you say stream chat is where you saw that?
Sorry?
Did you see that in stream chat? Okay.
Yeah, I got messaged. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Let's see. Got Lifestealers inside of Storm Spirit. Looks like we're setting up for one of our last throwdowns here. Should be pretty good. Alright, here we go. We open up the Swarm, which is deftly dodged by the entire team. Passion. That looks like they're going to stick on that high ground, which I think is the right choice. There's the Stomp.
There's the ulti.
Doesn't do a whole lot. Alright,
That's
there
a
we go.
decent
That's a good
ulti
opener.
right
That's a
there.
good opener. They're going to focus on OD first. Burns him down, but they do lose Storm Spirit in the process. Look at Crystal Maiden. Ultis with no one stopping her. Gets them all nice and low so Anti-Mage can come in and just start melting people down.
Oh, well, look, nice stomp. Anti-Mage could be in trouble here if they focus him down.
That was a good fight. Oh, look at Weaver is going down. Looks like they got a Frost on Shadow Demon, and he drops as well.
Anti-Mage
blinks.
ultis Jakiro and annihilates him.
Yep, Anti-Mage just barely survives that, but that's what comes with all that gear there. And it looks like Elder Titan is the only one to make it out alive. They do a 4
And there's
for
the
1.
GG.
There is the GG. Just in time for, I don't know if you saw Anti-Mage to buy his heart. So that was indeed what he was going for. That was a heck of a match here from Execution and Razer, and I gotta say that if Execution allows Anti-Mage to go through in the next draft, and we can guarantee that they're going to harass him more on the next one. So thanks for watching this particular game. Once again, I am Toffees for 5 Midas Gaming here with Pancake Dragon. We're happy that you joined us, and there's one more game to go this evening, which we will be getting started shortly. So bear with us as we get that rolling, and we will see you soon.